understand is the mother goes to where she's needed. If you are flowing along fine, I'm not going to think to check about on you because you don't need assistance in the same way that this person does. Do you understand? Now, if that's right or fair, I'm not here to dispute it, but it's understandable because this person needs help. What happens is, to the onlooker, they like, but what about me? But it's like, you understand that it wasn't fair in terms of the attention, but you got to understand at the same time when you become a parent that time does not oftentimes is not fair. It doesn't get divided up because this person may extract more of your time when it comes to checking homework because they need more assistance. This person may need more time when it comes to, hey man, make sure you put some lotion on. This person, so depending upon what the situation is, dictates the time you're going to give. And if you've gotten in trouble 5 times for doing something, and then Chauncey, he only got in trouble, or he only did this one time, and normally has good grades, don't expect me to blast Chauncey as if he's done it 5 times. And what happens is they thinking because they got in trouble, but you didn't, yet you got in trouble 5 times. Chauncey did it once. If I treated y'all the same, I would be treating him unfairly. But I've got to treat you differently in order to make it fair for all, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Do we treat everybody the same? We're talking about it, babies. 404-832-2963. Let's go to the lines. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you calling from?
Hey, Auntie and Uncle and Auntie. This is Israel.
Hey, baby.
Hey, honey. Yes, I try to treat everyone the same. Even if you've crossed me, I just know now not to treat you at all. But but until you fucked up, I was treating you the same. Mm-hmm. When it comes to my family, my mother didn't treat us the same. She, I love my mother, but she always treated my sister, who was only 10 months older than me, a little bit better than me. And she even wrote in my Bible to my daughter Isreba, my last child to suck my breast, the one who understands me the least. She thought that I didn't understand her, so she didn't understand me. No matter what I wanted to do, she would say no. If Nicki wanted to do something, it was always yes. So I always felt that divide in my family. Mm. And it didn't help any that my father, my sister Ilya, died when I was 8. And she looked just like Nicki. Well, Nicki looked just like her. So, of course, she got everything after that. She was just the new Ilya, you know. Mm-hmm. So Daddy even treated her better. I could be hungry in the middle of the night. Nicki, you hungry? No, I don't want anything to eat. Come on, Nicki. Daddy, what do you want? Can I have some White Castle? Leave me alone, girl. I said, Nicki, please ask Daddy. Daddy, come here. And he would come right in the room. What do you want, girl? We're hungry. We want some White Castle. Oh, girl, leave me alone. And he'd leave the room, come back 10 minutes later, fully dressed, and walk out the door. Come back with 10 hamburgers, 10 cheeseburgers, 2 large fries, and 2 White Castle shakes. Every time. Everything I wanted had to go through Nicki. Daddy, can I have a quarter? I ain't got no money, girl. Leave me alone.
Right.
And Nicki would go to him and ask him, and he would give her $1. Oh, girl, get out of here. And he would hand her $1. So I always felt that divide. You may think that kids don't feel it, don't see it, but we see it, and we feel it. And for years later, you know, so I just wanted to say that, because of that life lesson, I've tried my best to treat everyone the same. I have over 30 nieces and nephews. I try my best to treat them all the same. I don't give one without giving the other. I don't do one without doing for the other. And if one of them needs a little bit more attention because they're going through something, I'll do that. But I will not turn around and forget the other ones because you don't know what they're going through that they're not speaking up and saying.
We love you, Mama.
I love you too, guys. Hope
Have a good one. That's right.
All right, baby. You know, Daddy, I think that most of our issues always stem from childhood. And I'm not sure what the ages are where you're most impacted, right? Where you're most impacted. I'm not sure what the ages are. But when you hear the stories of people, and Israel is not unique, my story is not unique. Like, these are not unique stories, but it goes with us. And if we don't chop that tree down, we simply pass it along. And then it becomes generational, where you may have the light child gets treated unfairly, the fat child gets treated unfairly, the stepchild gets treated, this is just what you've seen.
And then it goes beyond the household, and then it's a transfer of how you treat people that you interact with in your daily travels, and how you don't treat the people that you deal with on a daily basis. There are situations in which we've had people call in and speak to Robin in a way in which, once they understand the value that Robin has for us, they kind of act a little bit differently. But they're so used to people calling in, and assistant means that you are of no value, not understanding the value of what that person is doing. So they think that they can talk anyway. But then the moment she responds back in a way like, well, you might want to talk to them in reference to it, then they realize it's a different relationship. Like, oh, well, who is this that I'm dealing with? Well, not only is she our executive assistant, but that's family too, dog. So what's good? So it's handled differently, but people have a mindset because of titles of a level of respect that you can give to someone. I mean, I hate to beat a dead horse, but really,
beat it.
We live in a world today in which, Monique, you were labeled difficult for not just not promoting a movie for Lionsgate that you weren't contractually obligated to do, but you didn't even have a contract with Lionsgate to do anything for them. And you were labeled difficult within a year after you shot the film. 2009, by 2010, when you accepted the award, you had been labeled as difficult, okay? Then you got guys like Lee Daniels perpetuating this 7 years later, right? Now, you didn't have a contract with them, but you were labeled difficult. The only one you had a contract with was Lee Daniels, and he didn't ask you to promote the movie internationally, right? That wasn't in the contract, just domestically, and you did everything, right? Now, everybody knows that, right? Harvey Weinstein has allegedly been mistreating women for decades, and you're just hearing about that shit. Titles, they have a difference, and people don't get treated the same. Here's a black woman. She did not do something that she had no contract to do, but she's difficult. Here's a white gentleman who happens to be, and I use the term loosely based upon what it is that he's done. Here's a white gentleman who has been accused and by tape verified that has taken advantage of women to some degree, from my understanding. But it took 30 years
30 of them
for that to happen. Why is that? Because everybody doesn't get treated the same.
Come on, baby. Let's go to the lines. We're talking about it. Do you treat everybody the same? You're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
This is Sean calling from D.C.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Monique. How are you?
Good, baby.
All right. I'm loving this conversation. So I think about it a number of ways. So we talk about parents and how they treat kids. Like, you know, my mother definitely treats our brother a little differently than she treats me. I'm the oldest. I have another sister who's a few years behind me, and I have a younger sister. You know, this definitely treats our younger siblings, particularly my brother, a little different than she treated us. But I look at it again, like, I look at it as, you know, when she had my sister and I, she was young. And, you know, she was kind of learning what was going on. And then she got older, you know, and she got married, and her resources increased, and so she was able to treat them differently. And so I try not to take it as personally a lot. When we talk about, like, how you treat, you know, other individuals in your life, do you treat everybody the same? I think initially you do, because, you know, it's all about that kind of, like, introductory process, like, how are we going to interact with it, our relationship going to be? And then you go from there. And I was listening to Sydney talk about, you know, if someone gets in trouble for something 5 times and someone else gets in trouble for it 1 time, the response is not going to be the same.
I've been an educator for 18 years, and it's something that, you always deal with in the classroom. Kids say, well, you don't treat them like you treat me, and you don't do this. Well, if I talk to you about something 6 times, and I talk to this student about it once or twice, then definitely the tone is going to be different. Because if I've said it 6 times, then that means 5 times you've done it, even though you know that you shouldn't have done it. So that response is different. And to me, it's kind of like the conversation, equality versus equity. And people say, I want you to be fair, I want equality. I don't think that's really the case. You can give everybody the same map to get to the store. That may be equality, but equity is giving them the same map to get to the store from their particular location. It's like meeting people where they are. And I think that's like the most important part. So it's not really treating people the same, but it's treating people in a manner that is most beneficial to that particular interaction. Every interaction is different, whether it be family, friends, or otherwise.
Very, beautiful.
I love it, Sean. Beautiful. Thank you, Mama.
Wonderful analogy. Thank you.
Come on now.
Right. So essentially, she's saying each relationship is specific in and to itself, and that it's a very difficult act to treat everybody the same because you're dealing with a variation of personalities, and if you treat everyone the same, you're putting yourself in a bad situation. You can rub and call your child honey and give them a kiss on the forehead. That right there is a pit bull. Do that with them. Okay? Wow. Right? Now they done bit your face off, but we treat everybody the same.
I'm not with you.
Okay, then.
Come on, we going to the lines and talk about it. Hey, you on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, Mo? This is Justin. I'm calling from New Orleans. How you guys doing today?
Hey, Justin.
Wonderful.
That's great. All right, I see the title of this video is, do you treat everyone the same?
Yes.
I'm not going to say I treat everyone the same, but what I will say is that every day I try to make a conscious decision to treat everyone the same. I don't care who you are. You can be a bum on the street. If you ask me for $1, I will give that bum $1 with a smile on my face, because if a friend of mine asks for $1, I wouldn't hesitate to give my friend that $1. At some point, I feel like, not to make this about panhandling thing, but I just feel like at some point that bum on the corner at some point in his life, he didn't think that he would have to stand on that corner and ask for $1, which is why I don't hesitate to give that brother or that sister $1. I also want to comment on the different siblings who've been calling in saying that they feel like they've been treated differently by their parents. I heard what you said, Sidney, about that. You don't know if it's debatable, but it's understandable. And yes, I will say that it is understandable, but it's not okay. I feel like parents will lean to which child needs them the most. But I also feel like parents are going to lean on which child they need the most as well.
Wow.
And I don't know if I can make sense of that or not, if I'm making sense of whatever.
Yes.
But,
absolutely.
I'm getting kind of twisted in the mind right now, because I just can't believe I'm talking to Monique and Sydney. Mo, I just want to know that I support you, sister. Anytime you pick up a microphone, anytime you pick up a script, anytime you do anything, you got my support. As a man, as an open homosexual man, I want you to know that you were a big part of me finding my sexuality and standing in my own right and being able to walk out the door and know who I am as a person. And I just appreciate you, Mama. I love what you're doing, and y'all keep doing it, and you got my support.
Thank you, baby, so much.
Thank you, brother. We love you.
And if you know Big Free, to tell him we try to come down there and do the bounce with him.
That's right.
Thank you, baby. Oh, Daddy. Oh, y'all, this is what this show is for. This is why this show is needed. And so appreciate when y'all put in the room, this show needs to be on TV and more people need to be exposed. It's going to happen when it's supposed to. But as long as y'all keep listening. And when that baby says, and here's the one thing I've learned too, because I've oftentimes said to Sydney, you saved my life. And he'll say, no, Mama. You just made a choice to listen and do something different. So for our baby that just called in, you made a choice to do it differently. You made that choice. Yeah, you listened to the words that we were saying, but you looked in that mirror and said, fuck this. I refuse to live in the dark. I refuse to live in shame and guilt. I refuse to live that way. So when we do a show, do you treat everybody the same? Think about the callers we've gotten today. We got a white man that said, listen, I was raised in the mountains of Virginia and we didn't fuck with niggas. Now, that's not what he said, but that's what that baby was saying.
Right.
But then things happened in my life and I met this beautiful woman of color. And it changed my mind. Then we get a brother that calls from New Orleans. Now, unless he said he was an openly gay man, I wouldn't have said that's one of my babies. He's speaking freely and openly. And that's what this show is. This show is saying, no judgment, come as you are, but come and be ready for some real shit.
And for those, because there are those out there that hear the language that is used, which is also defined as profanity from time to time. And this is just a momentary little break where we take this time out to say, this conversation is for real adults only. And by real adults only, I mean we have individuals in their 70s that listen to us and older, and then younger. And when you're having an adult conversation, it can have profanity in it. But what makes it an adult conversation is you're dealing with the reality of the situation, not with the words that come out and the way they sound. The question is it true? That's our final question that we ask when we say anything. And when someone calls in, it doesn't matter the way in which they say it. When they get finished saying it, the question is it true?
Come on.
And if we focus in on if it's true, we'll get out of the habit of saying, I rather hear a statement without profanity, though it is not real, but it is a statement without profanity and it comforts my ears, versus the truth of the matter, but it had fuck, shit, damn in it, but it was true.
Come on.
So we only dealing with the truth, and those words that are laced in between it are just words that we call emphasizers. They emphasize the magnitude of what it is that we're saying. You can say she went down the street,
or
you can say she went down the motherfucking street.
Come on.
Now, both of them is the street.
What?
But I'm telling you. Now, Donald Trump could have said those NFL players, they should be fired.
Yeah.
But he said them sons of bitches.
That's what he said.
Which one was more offensive?
Them sons of bitches.
Which one was more descriptive?
Them sons of bitches.
Which one was more emphatic? It was an emphasizer. Them sons of bitches.
You know, Daddy, it's funny that you said that because just today, when Rob and I were getting out the car to go in the gym, I looked at her and said, I really like to cuss. I looked right at her and I said, it does something to me and for me. I like it.
Right.
When you say she went down the street, that's boring as shit. She didn't see shit. She didn't walk a special way. That bitch just went down the street. But when you say, oh, she went down that motherfucking street, you see a sister in 6-inch heels, baby. You see her with that ass sitting up in that skirt tight. You see her walking down that motherfucking street.
You see it.
Let me tell you something. Now, for all of you who don't like cussing, fuck it.
Don't cuss.
Because y'all cuss in your head silently.
Silently.
But y'all don't want to say it out loud. But when you open your mouth up, you're a lie. That's profanity. That's the real profanity. A lying bitch, that's the real profanity.
Because you won't say it out loud, but when you walk away, you're cussing at those people.
Come on. Come on now.
Be for real.
Be for
and
real.
Cuss in front of them.
Cuss me in front. One thing won't nobody ever tell you is I cussed them out behind their back. Now, I done cussed out some motherfuckers, Daddy.
Well.
I done cussed them. But they won't say somebody told me.
They won't.
They gonna say Monique.
Monique.
One time I cussed. Oh, baby, I cussed him so good.
Wait.
One time, baby, I cussed this producer. And I cussed him so good, he said, ain't nobody ever cussed me out like that.
Now, why'd you cuss him?
Because he was fucking with my money.
Okay. So I just want to say that because these are just not random acts of cuss. Okay?
No.
Not random acts of cuss.
You only get cussed. If anybody ever said, Monique cussed me out, y'all be courageous enough to say,
for what?
For what?
For what?
I don't cuss a motherfucker out just over because, no. When it comes to the cuss out, When it comes to the, then that's one brother that, but I had to apologize for the cuss out, right? And I could say his name because we cool as shit and we like brother and sister in the comedy world now after the cuss out. And that's my baby Prescott at Chuckles Comedy Club. And if anybody down there, support that brother, baby, because it's an amazing comedy club.
Yeah.
But one time I was down there and he just set me the fuck off. And he set me off so bad that when he came around that goddamn corner, baby, he came.
He came.
Here it came, and I didn't care who was around, nothing. And Robin, who is always a lady, let me tell y'all something. Adele, listen, you are such a fucking lady, but when I tell you Robin is such a fucking lady, and she's such a fucking lady all the time. So while I was cussing him out from the visceral of my stomach, okay?
That nigga said the visceral.
Yeah.
Of my stomach.
Of my stomach. Robin stood there and folded her hands, and she never said anything until we got back to that goddamn hotel. And when we got in that room and everybody had gone in that room, she said, don't you ever talk to that man like that again. Yes, everything you said, you was right, bitch. But you didn't cuss him out in front of the staff. You didn't cuss him out in front of... You didn't give a fuck who was there. I said, sister, I didn't even see nobody. All I saw was his ass.
All you saw was
a
red.
Man. She was having
Right.
that talk with a man.
With
like,
a man.
That man would have been like, I mean, John would have hurt him. But
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying? He's still a man. Though.
Yes.
We had
Yes.
this conversation last week about hitting a woman.
Yes. Yes.
What if John wasn't?
Yes, if John wasn't there and he had a jump, we'd have still whipped his ass because me and you would have been. But I'm
But
saying,
to his credit,
come on.
In our community, and I can only go in our community, but I believe there's a multitude of communities, despite the color, that you can appreciate that it doesn't matter how they said it, it matters what the fuck is the reality of the situation. Because you got that uncle, you got that relative that if they telling you the right thing and they telling you with cuss words all kinds of different types of Sunday. It's somebody that come on that Instagram. It's a father and son. And the father be talking to the son. And the son be like, but daddy, I like staying at home. That's because you a bitch ass nigga. That's why you like to stay home. But daddy, why you calling me that? Because I don't like to work. Because, nigga, you don't like to... It's a real conversation, but the son was able to accept it and appreciate it because where we come from, we don't have the time for bullshit.
Come on.
We don't have the time for it to be laced with niceties because the real world is waiting for you behind that door to your home once you open it. So you appreciate the candor of someone that is real. And if you don't, that means that you've been in an environment to some degree that has turned your ass into glass. Okay? Don't walk around with an ass made of glass.
Come on.
Because it will be quick to break.
Come on. See, they don't like me sometimes coming to the parties. Because they like, this bitch gonna say it.
They gonna say
but
it.
I'll say it to anybody.
Anybody, baby, say this.
Let's say it. Come
Go
on, we're
to
going
the-
to the lines and talk to you, baby, so you can say something to us. You're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you calling from?
Hey, Mo, it's Nurse Nicki from New Jersey.
Hey, Nurse Nicki.
Hey.
Boo. Hey, Sid.
Hey. Talk to us.
Well, can we treat everybody the same? I'm going to use job-wise, okay? So, Monique, don't get jealous, but I have the biggest difficult on my back. And I don't mind, because when I first started my career, I was shy, I was quiet, and I was scared of my own shadow. But as I started getting treated misfairly by people, I'm talking about doctors throwing charts in your face, some of everything. I changed, and when I tell you I became difficult, I don't know what happened. I don't know how I turned, but I became a mess. And I'm not proud of that, but you can go in trying to be so respectful and peaceful, and people will turn you in a way, I know only if you let them, but you can really turn difficult. Okay, so I started training to become a hospice nurse. Now, on this new job, I treated everybody the same. Do you hear me? Because I didn't want to make the mistake I did before at the old job. Meaning respectfully treat everybody the same. Smiles, yes sir, no ma'am, no sir, okay yes, I'm sorry, I apologize. Honey, them heifers turned on me, treated me as if I was treating them wrong, and I said I can't do this anymore. So even though I came to a new place trying to treat people differently because of the fact that I treated them the same at my old job, honey, that shit don't work. I'm sorry. It just don't. So basically, how you treat me is how I treat you. If I have to feed you with a long-handed spoon, depending on my mood, you might not get fed at all. But I will try to feed you with a long-handed spoon. But can you treat everybody the same? Hell no.
There it is. There it is.
Listen, Nurse Nicki, that's why we love you, baby, because you keep it 100, real, and straight to the point, mama. Be good.
I'm trying to tell you. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
All right, my baby.
Bye-bye.
You know, she just said something about work, and it brought a thought to my mind. And she spoke about how sweet she was from one place to the next, but then it got different. And I could have taken the experience with Lee Daniels as a black director and a black writer. And the treatment that he's given, I could have said, one, I'll never work with another black director. Mm-hmm. Or I could have said, if I do, I'm going to keep it very fucking straight and to the point because I don't ever want to be. But then I said I would be doing myself a disservice because I ran into a young lady named Dee Reese, who was the director and writer of Bessie. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you, and I'm so proud of this sister, the things I've been reading up on her, like she's been doing amazing. Mm-hmm. But had I taken that attitude of, because this one fucked me over, I got to keep my guard up with you.
Or David Talbot.
Or David Talbot. Mm-hmm. Or the brother that did Interwoven, the husband and wife team.
Right.
All of these people, beautiful people. So I never want to take an experience from one person and automatically put it on somebody else. Mm-hmm. Because in doing that, you lose. And you could wind up losing a great experience only because you already went in with a preconceived notion, this is how they do it.
And lastly, what I'll say on that is, don't let someone make you have a bad day because they're having a bad day. Because someone might not be nice to you, there's a way in which to handle things, even when they're not being nice to you. That doesn't have to make you not nice. What it made you was assertive, as opposed to turning you into someone that was just being aggressive. And that's what you want to do, because when you ask something as simple as, was there any particular reason why you were talking to me in that manner? That makes someone reflect on why they're talking to you in that manner versus, bitch, who you talking to? That's a little different.
That's a little different.
It's a little different. So again, don't let somebody, I guess, trick you into having a bad day. They thought they made you think you was having a bad day when you was having a good day, and all you did was rain into them. It's that time.
It's that time, Daddy. But before we go, we must address Lee Sugar, because today is her birthday. And she said, no, you can't treat everybody the same because I got to treat this liquor different. I got to treat one liquor one way and another liquor another way. So, Lee Sugar, all we're going to say to you, baby, however you treating that liquor, make sure you stay home.
That's right.
Because the liquor going to treat you after a minute.
And the liquor get the lick in your back. Now, wait a minute. Did I go too far?
No, baby,
I'll say that.
Not for me. So, listen, we want to thank y'all. We want to thank each and every ear, every heart, and every mind, because you could have been doing something else. But instead, you decided to give it all to us in these moments. So like my daddy always says, the mind is like a parachute.
It's no good unless it's open.
We love